I think it was important for them to say Jalen Hurts is our guy. But by the same token, I think they need to be looking, or Minshew might be their guy.
He reminds me so much of Coach Johnson and how situational things always seemingly play out. Remember, like I said to you guys, my coach always told me this. It's not about making spectacular plays in games. It's about not making that one screw-up play that cost you a championship or cost you a moment where you can seize a game. And with that being said, I got to tell you, I think he and I are pretty happy today. I want to bring my friend on, Coach Jimmy Johnson, and I got to tell you, Coach, I tweeted this out earlier, folks. Go over to @Dan Sileo Show. I said, so wait a minute. Cristobal's getting he's getting $80 million. And hang on here now. Lincoln Riley's getting $113. And Brian Kelly's getting 85. And I said, what would Coach Johnson be worth today? I don't know, Coach. They may have to make a wing down at the U for you.
Well, if I was about 20 years younger, Dan, maybe that'd be fine. But at this stage, just a little bit of fishing and a little bit of Fox NFL Sunday, and I'm fine.
I know you are, Coach. Coach, let me throw this at you here. You told me this a long time ago. And one thing that has totally panned out on what you have said, you always said this, a true success of a coach, and I posted that picture of your coaching staff. Mario, Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly, and I thought it told me a lot about no assistant coaches going with Brian Kelly to LSU. I thought that said a lot to me. Coach, how important is it for Mario to be able to build a coaching staff and to get those guys right moving forward to rebuild that program?
Well, really, as you know, we had some great coaches on our staff at University of Miami and with the Dallas Cowboys. I had, 5 or 6 of them went on to be NFL head coaches, and then Tommy Tupperville, he was a head coach in college. But everybody from Chuck Pagano to Dave Wanstead to Butch Davis, all of them really contributed. So you've got to have great assistant coaches. Now, they don't necessarily need to be head coaches, prior to you bringing them in, but you develop them to where they can be a head coach.
I tell everybody, so a senator from Alabama used to do bed checks with me, and a former head coach of the Colts, Tommy Tuberville, and Chuck Pagano used to do bed checks, and these guys were doing bed checks for Coach Johnson. He's no senator, Coach.
Yeah. Who knows? What does he know about politics, by the way?
Coach, let's get into the –
Hey, well, Dan, I don't know some of those politicians. I don't know if they know anything about anything anyway.
For damn sure. Coach, let's get into the Eagles. Are you sold that Jalen Hurts is the future of the Philadelphia Eagles?
I like Jalen Hurts. Obviously their style of play, running the football, fits him. But if I was Philadelphia with all of those draft picks, I'd be looking at another quarterback, at least in the second and third round to develop, because Jalen Hurts, as much as he runs the football, he's going to get hurt. And so I think they need to have a good young quarterback that fits more of the pro style as far as throwing the football. Now, Minshew did an outstanding job the other day. I'm surprised that, Jacksonville let him go for what they did. And, he's a quality quarterback. He's as good a backup quarterback as there is in the league.
So, Coach, would you agree, though? Does that tell you something? He's only 25, like you said. Does that tell you that for them to name Jalen Hurts coming out of the bye against Washington and Dallas have a big game this week, for them just to go ahead and name Jalen Hurts the starting quarterback, does that tell you that they're looking more at today, or do you think they're still looking at the evaluation process for the future of the Eagles?
Yeah, I think they've got to be looking. But, with your starting quarterback, you want to go ahead and, be all in on him. Say, hey, Jalen Hurts is our guy. You don't want to be wishy-washy about it and really mess up his confidence. And so, I think it was important for them to say Jalen Hurts is our guy. But by the same token, I think they need to be looking, or Minshew might be their guy.
Coach, how about this? They have the 10, the 14, and the 17th pick in the upcoming NFL draft. 11 total picks. And, Coach, they're going to be $50 million under the salary cap. That's what's being projected for Howie Roseman. How would you go about – they have the best offensive line, I think, in the NFL. They're number one in the – they're pretty decent up front. Fletcher Cox is a little bit high-priced right now. Maybe you move him in the offseason for another pick or so. But how would you handle the upcoming offseason with all that commodity?
Well, they've got to look at the age and the injury some of these players, too. Some of these players are quality players, but they've been hurt a lot. And, that's the thing about it. A guy can be a great player, but if he's never on the field, then he's not going to help you. So I think they need to be looking, even though they've got some great line, the offensive and the defensive line. I don't think they can overlook that. Really with all those picks, they just look at quality players, just upgrade the talent on their team. You don't ever, bypass a great player in the draft.
Coach, are you sold on Dallas still being a Super Bowl contending team? They've kind of wobbled a little bit over the last month and a half. Are you still sold?
Right now, boy, this year has been crazy. Some of the teams that have said, hey, for sure that team, they've got it, then they go out and lose. I mean, I don't know that anybody's been really consistent. Tampa Bay, they have been fairly consistent, as long as, Brady doesn't get hit a lot. And so they should be fine. They're getting their defensive players back. Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, they've got to be a factor. And then you look after that, I don't know. The Rams, can they get it going? I don't know. They had a streak of 3 games. They looked ugly on offense and defense. Over in the AFC, I just don't think I love the Patriots. I love Bill Belichick. He's the best coach of all time. But I don't know offensively. I think they're going to run into a buzzsaw sometimes when they get into a hot Kansas City team or, somebody that's going to score a bunch of points. I think it's going to be a problem for them.
Couple last questions for you here, Coach. I want to, for a guy that was involved in the personnel department and also in evaluating of the talent, I want to ask you about the Rams here. So, prior to going into last week, 4 of the last 5 years, Coach, Jared Goff had the Rams at 7-4. So they go out in the offseason, Les Snead and Kevin Demoff, and they make the deal to get Matthew Stafford. They give up 2 1s and a 3. I'm thinking from you, I'm wondering, do you have buyer's remorse a little bit in the fact that you're in the same place where you were a year ago and you gave up the assets? I can't tell you when the Rams have another draft choice. I don't know either. Them or the Lakers don't have any draft choices over the next couple of years. Would you have buyer's remorse on this deal?
Yeah, the concern, when they lost Robert Woods, they lost a lot. I don't think that they don't have a player that can replace Robert Woods. All the blocking he did at wide receiver, the crossing routes, the tough routes. And so losing Robert Woods really hurt their team. The other thing is when you bring in some of these superstars, it takes them a while to get a fit, that you just can't plug them in and all of a sudden they're playing great. So it's going to take a while for Sean McVay to figure out what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what they can do, what they can't do. I think that they will be a factor. Now, they're not going to catch Arizona. Arizona's playing as well as anybody in the entire league. And so the Rams will have to do it on the road, and they'll have to do it as a wild card because, like I said, Arizona's going to win that division.
And Coach, I saw your comments on Sunday when you were on the when you were with the guys and you were talking about Arizona, and you named Chandler Jones, you named DeAndre Hopkins and all these guys, and they got playmakers. But why is it so hard for all of us to say this? That team can win the Super Bowl. I mean, is it just because the experience factor, Coach, that they haven't been in that light and they haven't been in that moment that we're doing that?
But some of their players have been in that light. Some of their players, have been on some quality teams. It's kind of what I said on Fox NFL Sunday. Al Davis told me this. He said, there are certain players, they're role players. They can make a first down for you or they can make a tackle. But then there's other players, they win games for you. They're going to get the strip sack. They're going to get the fumble recovery. They're going to get the interception. They're going to get the long run. They're going to get the long pass. Certain players win games. Well, Arizona's got a lot of those players on both sides of the ball. And they've been able to win games and have the best record without some of those players, with some of those players being hurt. When they get all those players healthy, all those playmakers, they're going to be hard to beat. And like you say, some of them are not that experienced as far as having playoff experience, but I think they got so much talent. They're gonna have a shot to win it all.
Coach, I just got a text message from Steve Wisniewski, and he wants to know why you traded him.
Who's that?
Steve Wisniewski. He wants to know why you traded him.
We actually had that trade done before I was able to keep him. Al wanted Wisniewski. I wanted to trade down, get another pick, and take Daryl Johnston. But yeah, two of the regrets I had is not keeping Wisniewski, and the other one is not taking Michael Strahan with a little bit higher pick in the second round. I wanted to bargain with Strahan. He played at Texas Southern, and so as a small school, I thought I might get him with a late second. New York jumped in front of me.
Hey, Coach. Finally, here we'll throw this at you too. Miami's it's far cry and a far stone throw right now from you battling it out for $300,000 with Tad Foote, isn't it?
What? Hey, I missed that one, Dan.
Battling it out for $300,000 with Tad Foote out of a contract after the Fiesta Bowl. Now they're giving $8 million out, right?
Oh, please. That was a long time ago. We had a pretty good run, though, Dan. You sure helped us, too.
Hey, Coach, that was one of the greatest times of my life outside of my daughter being born, being a Hurricane and being one of your Cranes. We all love you, man. I just can't tell you how much you mean to me. Thank you so much, Coach.
Dan, I appreciate it. Like I've always said, that was the best 5 years of my life. I always said that until now. The best time of my life is right now.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you. Have a great broadcast this weekend.
All right, Dan. Good talking with you.
You got it. That is my coach, Jimmy Johnson. I love playing for that man. I just love that man so much. Please do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Jimmy said he would draft a quarterback. Do you agree in Philadelphia? Keep it right here on the National Football Show.